Right then, so I believe that Dillian Whyte will beat Moses the Itauma this weekend. And I'm going to have loads and loads of people disagreeing with that. But I honestly believe that experience will win Dillian Whyte this fight. And I just get the impression right now, loads of people are on the Moses the Itauma train, and rightly so. Because in my opinion, Moses the Itauma will 100% be world heavyweight champion one day, and very possibly could be one of the best heavyweights to ever do it by the end of his career. And I think Whyte will win this, and that's not because I think Moses the Itauma is overhyped, because he's not at all. I just feel like this is a matter of it being too soon for Moses the Itauma, and the pressure's on, and all the fans, for what they're saying about Moses the Itauma, are going to have a bit of a reality check early on in Itauma's career. That's my opinion on this, to be honest with you. And I honestly think Dillian Whyte will do it, and he will be able to outman Moses the Itauma in there. And we've seen Dillian Whyte looking in very, very, very good shape recently. Coming into this, there's been photos of him on social media and everything today as well, since I believe they did like the media photo shoot or whatever it's bloody called, media day. And he's looking in very good shape, possibly the best shape of his career ever, to be honest with you. And, he's still going to be heavier than Itauma. He's still going to be heavier than Itauma. He's naturally tall, he's taller than Itauma, and he's a naturally bigger man than Itauma. But he's, got this in muscle this time. He's not fat. He's not a fat pudding like what he looked like against Tete, Christian Hammer. He's not looking like that this time whatsoever. He's looking in there to come in, just outwork Moses the Itauma. And I feel like Dillian Whyte, he's going to want this fight up close. He's going to want to get that reach away from Moses the Itauma, because Itauma's got some very good lead hand feints, and he's very quick and unpredictable with it. But Dillian Whyte, as the bigger man, I believe is going to want to come in and force Moses the Itauma back onto those ropes. And I believe that is what he is going to be able to do. We haven't seen it happen yet to Moses the Itauma. We haven't seen him be pushed back on those ropes yet. And Dillian Whyte could be the guy to do it. He's got the experience to do it. He's done it to many guys in his career. And Dillian Whyte, what he really likes is taking the front foot. It's difficult to take the front foot against Dillian Whyte. And that's something that I don't think enough people are considering. And we haven't seen Itauma box on the back foot yet. He probably has done in sparring, of course, especially in the build-up to this fight. But there's a big difference between sparring and being in there. And that, I think, is something that Moses the Itauma is going to see when it comes to fighting on the back foot. He hasn't done it yet in the pro ranks. So I feel like that is what's going to happen this Saturday. Itauma's going to be on that back foot, and he's going to be forced to box off it. It does help him, though. He is the southpaw. So, again, that is an advantage in itself for Moses the Itauma to try and get off those ropes and try and force Whyte onto those ropes. And I think that could be something that could get into the head of Dillian Whyte a bit, in my opinion, as Dillian Whyte tries moving to the left. Itauma will try and, move to his left and himself, and then try and force Whyte onto that straight left hand. That's what I feel like is going to happen. So Itauma's got the advantage if they're moving right, and if they're moving left, Itauma's got the advantage either way. But I think Dillian Whyte, if he can survive an early storm, which I believe he will be able to, he will beat down Moses the Itauma to the body, and he will be able to pin him on the ropes. He will be able to pin him on the ropes, and he will be able to beat him down. And we don't know how Itauma's going to deal with that. And I feel like a thing with Moses the Itauma, though, is the one thing with him is I feel like he leaves his chin quite high in the air. And if he gets tagged hard by Dillian Whyte, he's going to think to himself, right, he really does need to reset it. And I can't see a world where Dillian Whyte doesn't catch Moses the Itauma and at least test the chin in this fight. He's going to test the chin of Itauma. Do I believe Itauma's chin will be able to hold up? Yes, I do. But it's going to be tested in this fight. Even if it does hold up, though, no matter what, Whyte's going to catch him, and it's going to make Moses the Itauma rethink things. What's this experienced guy going to do? Because Itauma's never been in there with a guy as experienced as Dillian Whyte at the very top level. You know, that's the thing. And I think with the shape that Dillian Whyte's in right now, I've seen those people, including myself as well, actually saying in his past few fights, his legs have looked like they're basically been gone and shot. We saw it against Tete, Hammer, you know, a Fury as well. Legs were gone. But that's because he was so bloody fat. Now he's slimmed down and he's got all that muscle on. You know, I feel like he's going to have his legs under him a bit more. His footwork's never been the best, though, Dillian Whyte. His footwork's never been the best. And, you know, he's still been able to get a lot of success. You know, that's never been a strong point of Dillian Whyte, Stan. That's his footwork. Never, ever been a strong point. It's always been one of his weakest points. But he does plod forward and he does pressure you well. And he takes some and gives some back. That's the thing. I mean, you know, I've seen loads of people saying, Itauma's going to be looking for those uppercuts, and if he lands one, it's done. I mean, Dillian Whyte hates those bloody uppercuts, but I feel like he's really going to put the pressure on Itauma here and be able to shut down that gap. I really do think he will be able to. I feel like he's really going to try and pin Itauma on the ropes and in the corner and be able to tee off on him. And I feel like body work is going to be a key factor for Dillian Whyte in this fight. Without a shadow of a doubt, it will be. I mean, it's an intriguing one. It's an intriguing one to see what both guys are going to do. I feel like it's unfair to say how big of an underdog Dillian Whyte is. I really do. I think it's like 7-1, 8-1 underdog, or is it like 6-1, 7-1 underdog? I mean, it's a joke. I honestly feel like Dillian Whyte will do it. I think he's on his day 100%. He is one of the heaviest hitters in the division. If not possibly on his day, he's the heaviest hitter in the division. You know, he's got a ridiculous lead took on him. He's got a ridiculous backhand on him if they catch you flush. And I do believe he will land flush on Itauma. I reckon it could be a decision win for Whyte. It could be a late knockout or stoppage win for Whyte. No matter what, I'm saying that Dillian Whyte is going to not stop. I'm saying he's going to drop Moser Itauma in the mid to late rounds. Itauma's never really, has he been past 5? I don't think he has. You know, he hasn't been past 5 rounds. Like, what's he going to be able to do if it does go past 5 rounds? That's a big question. And Dillian Whyte's not got the best of gas tanks, but what Dillian Whyte can do is he's always able to slug it out. He's always able to slug it out, and he's proven that throughout his career at the highest level. And he's proven throughout the highest level that he carries his power for the whole 12 rounds. He carries his power throughout the fight. It's always there. It's always a threat. And if he connects on anyone, and flush, then he can turn your lights out in a bloody instant. This is a very dangerous fight for Itauma. I'm not 100% sure if he's ready for it yet. If he wins it, then that would be very, very, very cool if he does. Because, you know, if Itauma can beat Whyte, then that makes things very interesting in the division. And just for Itauma's career, like, we're really onto something here. And I already think we do. Like, you know, we're really onto something with Moser Itauma right now. But I just have a feeling it might be a bit too soon for him going up against Dillian Whyte. And from what we're seeing, Whyte's motivated. He's mentally strong. I don't think Whyte's going to lose this.